down to business and do some reviews. Disney feature-length films, short cartoons. We bought VHS tapes, every title we could. Disney is our business, and business is good.
Welcome to Let's Get Down to Business.
You always do that voice.
Why?
What is that voice?
I don't think it's anything. It's like a combination of a bunch of terrible impressions and accents.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. It's a little creepy.
Why?
I don't like it. Stop doing it.
You're going to give me a little bit more rationale.
This is my show. Stop doing it. There's your rationale. My show. I'm the star. Welcome to Let's Get Down to Business with Stephanie.
And that's it?
Yeah. With my special guest, Kevin.
Yeah, where the hell are you going to get your comedy from? I am where it comes from.
You're my special guest. I wonder if people can hear the cars driving by outside, because it's pretty loud.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. We live in the city.
No, we don't. We're in the country. And my mom thinks that a drunk driver is one of these days going to careen off the road and
crash into our house and kill us both.
Yeah.
God willing.
It's a way to go. What do we have going on this week? The Rescuers.
Yeah.
Is our feature.
We got a Mickey short.
We do have a Mickey short, but first you have a correction.
What? Are you trying to say that I do things wrong all the time?
Yes.
No, not all the time. Just once, that one time, and then once this last time.
Well, apparently you don't know your Jerry Lewis movies.
Which is fine. I mean, I'm pretty nutty like that. But no, last episode I believe I said the movie was called The Sad Clown. That is very woefully incorrect. And Josh and Chris, I'm pretty sure, are absolutely going to give me shit about it. But it was The Day the Clown Cried. And it is Jerry Lewis being a clown in a concentration camp.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're that kind of podcast.
Yeah, so I was way off, I mean, I like to consider myself a connoisseur of sorts, but apparently not that much, so.
You were wrong. And I will never let you live that down.
Yeah, whatever. I fucking doubt it.
So, our short this week is called Wild Waves with Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
And this has taken us way back.
To the roaring 20s?
Like back. To 1929. Let me paint you a scene.
A black and white scene?
Prohibition. Was Prohibition going on? What happened in 1929? Was there a war?
No, I think the Great Depression was probably going on still.
Okay.
I think the stock market crash.
Okay.
Well, no, that might have been I don't know. I'm not going to dig myself a deeper hole here. So
just let me say all the incorrect
just say that
historical facts.
That there was a lot of roaring going
There's
on.
Some roaring going on. So, Wild Waves, as we said, is a Mickey Mouse short. It's in black and white. It's roaring. It's about 7 minutes long. And the synopsis from the old interwebs was, when Minnie is swept out to sea, it's up to lifeguard Mickey to swim out and save her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Ub Iwerks worked on this.
I don't even know who that is.
Ub Iwerks? Okay.
That's not a real name.
So it's Disney.
Yeah.
And then his partner early on was Ub Iwerks, and he did a lot of the early drawing and animation.
Did he fuck him over?
Probably.
Okay.
So this starts out where they're at the beach and Mickey is in his lifeguard chair. And his chair is kind of dancing underneath him while he's sitting in it. We pan over to the little changing booth that they used to have on beaches.
It looks like an outhouse almost.
It's like a mini circus tent.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen those on a beach before. I'm just saying.
Okay.
But Minnie's inside of it and she's changing. She walks out in high heels.
She's strutting.
Very practical for the beach, high heels. She is strutting. She knows she's looking good. Mickey only has eyes for Minnie Mouse. But she goes out and the tide is coming in and she gets swept up in the water and the waves and it takes her out and she calls for help. And Mickey has to go out there and help her. And there's all sorts of visual gags going on. He tries to throw a life preserve out to her, but he throws it and doesn't hold on to the rope.
And it boomerangs back and hits him in the ass.
He runs around and, like, there's, like, these boats that are upside down, so he, like, flips one over so he can take it, and 2 pigs come running out from underneath it. What were they doing?
They were porking.
Yeah. That's what I thought. And
Like I said, was that a term back in the 20s? It had to have been.
yeah, well,
It has
like,
to.
wow, that's a little risque for
Yeah.
a Disney cartoon. But yeah, so he goes out with the boat, except the boat doesn't have a bottom. Like, there are some weird things going on with the
Yeah.
boat. So he swims through the waves, and he gets out to her, and he rescues her, and he brings her back, and she's crying. Why are you crying?
Because she's almost fucking drowned. That's a
why
lot
you
to take
crying?
in.
So in order to cheer her up, he does a little dance number. He's doing some dancing, some whistling, and some penguins are dancing. And there's a whole bunch of seals
Yeah.
who are like, "Whoop, whoop, whoop, whoop." Yeah. And yeah, it's just, I don't really know what else to say.
Yeah, it's pretty straight to the point.
Yeah. It's cute.
Yeah.
It's funny.
And it's definitely another one of those, like, wow, this is very, very old, so I'm not going to judge it overly harshly. Because it's definitely funnier than, like, a lot of the Silly Symphonies or
Yeah.
even the, what the hell's that first one with the cat?
Puss in Boots?
Yeah, Puss in Boots.
I can't believe you don't like Puss in Boots.
Sorry.
It is
I'm a little bit classier
very
than that,
important to the history of animation.
which I care so much about.
Yes, you do. You are a historian. Roaring 20s. Yeah, I mean, it was funny.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'll add it to our list.
It wasn't
liked.
the worst 7 minutes that we spent.
I was thinking, like, man, they really had to be creative with visual comedy back in the day.
Without a lot of audio.
That and just, you know, I feel like a lot of people lack imagination.
Yeah.
So their visual gags.
Wait, was that like an old person, like kids these days type of thing? Or just people in general?
No, I think people in general don't have a lot of imagination, and I think technology plays a part in that. You don't sit around. Well, you don't sit around and think up, like, like he could swim through the ocean, or he could swim on top of the waves
Yeah.
and through the waves and zigzag through the wave. Like, I don't know. Like, everyone's pretty straightforward nowadays.
I guess.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, what?
Yeah, that's it. We're done. Making it quick because apparently you have a basketball game to watch.
No,
so.
that is not true.
The Rescuers.
Yeah. What about it?
I don't know.
Say, we almost got fucked over on this because when I put the VHS in, we go through the previews, and I don't really think anything of it.
There was no previews.
Well, I thought there was a Beauty and the Beast.
No, that was the second one we put in.
Oh, okay.
So,
But
yeah.
either way, so it starts, and before the title screen even
There's
comes
like
up.
bugs crawling.
Well, and not only that, I was looking at it, and it seemed like a lot more cinematic.
I was like, wow, these visuals are fucking phenomenal
Yeah.
compared to what I remember as a child.
Yeah. And like I said, like just the way that it was shot and everything like that, it looked a lot more cinematic.
And then it
because,
starts panning in and
Yep.
zooming, and then there's this giant rock
Yeah.
in
And I
the
was like,
middle of
whoa.
a desert, and we're in Australia. And I was like, this is the second one.
Yeah.
This isn't the right one. So
So I checked the box, and it was The Rescuers. So I was like, what the fuck? There's the wrong goddamn movie in this case?
Yeah.
And Stephanie had gotten The Rescuers Down Under, so I was like, well, I guess I may as well just check the other case to see if maybe they got switched. I didn't know that Stephanie's friend had gotten us this one from one store, and Stephanie had got Rescuers Down Under from a completely different store. But I checked it anyway, like before I'd even asked that of her. And The Rescuers was in The Rescuers Down Under. How the fuck that happens in two completely different cases and like situations, I don't know, but
I'll tell you how it happens.
I feel like it was a good omen.
I'll tell you how it happens.
How?
Children.
Well, I guess, but like, you know what I mean?
It's
Like
so weird.
You wouldn't check or
Yeah.
It's just odd.
Well,
to
I
me.
mean, at this point when you're like, just throw all the VHS cases in the
But even
Goodwill
still,
bin.
like, so it's a guarantee that all people are going to have both The Rescuers and also The Rescuers Down Under close enough.
What do I tell
So
you?
that they'll get fucking. So you'll be anal enough to have both of these movies. Probably have them both alphabetically as well, but you're not going to have them in the correct case.
What did I tell you? Life works in mysterious ways. It works itself out.
Shut the fuck up. with that fake bullshit.
Yeah, no, I don't. My friend Patty...
Jesus took the wheel. He
did. He wanted to make sure that we were blessed in our podcast. No, my friend Patty bought me the Rescuer VHS tape at a garage sale.
Yeah. So it wasn't even a thrift store.
Yeah. The Rescuers Down Under, I'm pretty sure I bought it like a Goodwill or
like
Salvation Army or something. Yeah. So that is so bizarre. That is so
How
weird.
bizarre. How bizarre. It's making me crazy.
It's making me crazy. So we put in the correct tape this time.
Yeah. And it totally worked.
Yeah, and so we had a preview for Beauty and the Beast, Great Mouse Detective, and then we start with the correct opening, where we're at the bayou.
What?
Totally different
Yeah.
than Australia.
And their paintings.
Yeah.
This does not look cinematic. All that nice shit I just said about the Rescuers Down Under. This is not that.
So,
it looks very cheap.
We're at the bayou with this like old haunted looking riverboat, and this girl is walking out, and she like slips a bottle into the water with a note inside of it. And
message in a bottle.
She runs, and then we have credits.
Yeah.
And these credits are played on top of just still paintings.
Yeah. Like I said, they're paintings.
Scenic paintings.
Yep. And I thought that's the way that all the backgrounds in the movie were going to be. I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Like, is this really what we're doing with a $7.5 million budget?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we didn't even go over the facts on this.
Yeah, we should probably do that
you
first.
You just jumped right into
I
our
felt
VHS
like that was pretty
story.
important.
You could have waited.
No, you get right down to business.
Kevin,
all right?
whose podcast is this?
It's mine.
Stop taking
It's mine. You're fucking this up, all right?
You guys. The Rescuers came out in 1977.
Great year.
Was it?
I don't fucking know. It's 6 years before I was born.
Man, you're old. So it's the 23rd animated feature film.
We're so close to number 30.
77 minutes long.
Ooh.
An hour
Do you think they meant to do that?
No. An hour and
17 minutes.
17 minutes. Oh, I was getting there. This budget was $7.5 million. What was the last one? Winnie the Pooh. Oh, we didn't know on Winnie the Pooh. Let's look at Robin Hood and
Don't worry
see.
about it.
Robin Hood's budget was $5 million.
Yeah, so this is 50% more in 4 years. I don't think inflation works that way.
Holy shit. This movie was
That fucking Jimmy Carter.
This movie was based on the books by Marjorie Sharp. There's two different books, The Rescuers, or as I typed it out, apparently.
The Rescuers.
The Rescuers. And another
You
book.
see, you spell like Penny.
That's a book called Miss Bianca. The Rescuers was the first major success since The Jungle Book, and it would be the last success until The Little Mermaid.
God damn, is that like a really bad omen for us? Are we about to hit a nasty stretch?
I don't know.
Or I think it's telling us that we already hit a nasty stretch
You're
and then
right.
another one's coming.
It was also the last film to receive an Oscar nom, I believe, for music.
Fuck.
Until the
It was for song. It was
for a
for
song.
yep.
Until The Little Mermaid.
Wow.
We're in it now, babe.
We're in the shit. We're in the suck.
It features pop music instead of like an orchestra
Okay.
symphony background.
Which I mean, before us actually getting into it, I think probably fits this movie a little bit better.
So this was made in a few stages. Okay, here's the
Not in 1977?
here's the production background.
Okay.
First,
Yeah. First things
the
first.
first thing is when they first probably got the rights to this book.
Yeah.
But when they started working on it was in 1962.
That's a long time.
Let's paint a new scene.
Yeah.
1962.
Yeah.
Beatniks? I don't know. What was going on in the 60s?
Well, JFK hadn't been shot yet. So, Cuban Missile Crisis.
Cold War?
What's that?
Cold War?
Probably in the midst. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about history.
Cold War, Cold War.
The plot that they had for the original story was really closely following the book. So it was about a poet who was held captive in a Siberian-like totalitarian country.
Nice job.
I know. Those are big words. So in the original story, even with all the international intrigue, Walt Disney was like, no. I'm stopping this project. He wasn't happy with the political overtone.
Which is probably the right call.
Yeah. They revived it later in the early 1970s as a project for like their young animators, in which they were
Who? Led by who?
led by Don Bluth.
That's right, motherfuckers!
And so they kind of had like Like, you guys are the B team, and you're going to work on this. The A team is going to work on, like, the good movies.
Yeah, like the
instead.
Aristocats
Like-
and Robin Hood.
Like Robin Hood.
Yeah, the good shit.
So, at this time, the story had changed, and now we're focusing on the story from the book Miss Bianca, which takes place in the Antarctic, where there's a captured polar bear, and he's forced to perform. He sends out a message in a bottle, and it reaches the mice. Yeah. Yada, yada.
I'd be fucking pissed if I was a polar bear and a couple of mice come to save me.
Oh, that's very sizist, classist of you. I don't know.
No, that's rational, is what we call that. I'm a polar bear, motherfucker. I'm endangered as it is.
So they had Louis Prima. Luis?
I think it's Louis.
Louis Prima. You remember who he was, right?
I believe so.
He was King Louis?
Yeah.
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 Because he's like a jazz musician or, So he was going to voice the bear, but then it ended up that he had some memory loss issues, which led to them finding out that he had a brain tumor, so the project was scrapped.
Yeah.
So now we have Robin Hood.
Yeah.
After Robin Hood, they had two different projects. Okay? The Rescuers and Scruffy.
Sounds legit.
Scruffy is a story about the monkeys of
Gibraltar.
under World War II that would be threatened by the Nazi Party's attempt to capture them from the British Empire.
During World War II.
During World War II.
And we don't care about the politics of this, obviously. That's not,
They're like, we already had a shitty World War II movie with Nazis and whatnot, so...
Oh, I thought you were talking about Victory Through Air Power. I was like, whoa.
No, but now
Yeah, I know.
broomsticks.
I'm fucking with you.
So, they decided to scrap Scruffy.
Yeah.
Great idea, you guys. Good job. So they went with the Rescuers. They dropped the Arctic setting. They thought about having Cruella de Vil as a villain, but then
Why would you do that?
they were like, let's not have any sort of sequel.
Yeah.
So
Okay, that's funny knowing where it goes. But.
Yeah. So then they adjusted some of the characters from the book. So
Yeah.
like, instead of having bloodhounds, they used alligators.
Yep.
Instead of having a girl named Patience, they called her Penny. Instead of the Diamond Duchess, who was in the novel,
Yeah.
they have Madame Medusa, etc., etc. So they just change people around.
Until we got this version of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Are we caught up now?
We're caught up.
All right.
Okay. So, now that we have the opening scenes,
Yeah.
which are just stills of paintings, we've seen Don Bluth as part of this.
I noted.
We have a song that sounds like a James Bond song to me. I was like, is this Skyfall?
Right.
What are we listening to? So definitely a change in the sound of music. Not the sound of
We'll
music.
stand tall
Yeah.
through it all.
So
face it
basically, this
Together.
message in a bottle floats all the way to New York.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. That's how rivers work, motherfucker.
It wasn't a river,
I know,
though.
I'm fucking with
It
you.
went from the
Yeah, I know,
bayou
I know.
all the way up the East
I
Coast.
feel like if you're going to say that, you got to say it right.
What?
Came from down on the bayou.
Kevin's the crawdad.
The crawdad man. Oh. I do declare.
Is that an SNL skit?
No, it's fucking The League. It's Paul Scheer.
Nobody talks about the League anymore.
That's because it got really shitty towards the end.
That and...
Come on now.
Anyway, so we're in New York, which is where they found the bottle, because somehow the bottle traveled all the way up the coast.
That's how it works, babe.
And we are at the United Nations. And you can tell this is a very contemporary setting. There's like skyscrapers and people getting out of cars in front of the UN building.
Got all the flags.
Yeah. And there's mice everywhere. They might want to, tell.
Yeah, you call an exterminator or something
Yeah,
like that.
they're
They're in your
custodials.
goddamn luggage.
Their custodial service is not doing a great job.
TSA would have never let this fucking pass.
Right? So these mice are like jumping out of suitcases and whatnot, and they all represent different countries, and you know which countries they represent because they kind of dress.
They're like, not avatars really, but yeah, they take on the type of garb and things like that they're
Like the
people.
Scottish one is wearing like a Scottish hat and
And a kilt, yeah.
Yeah. So there's like a little mouse hole that they all go into, and they have a little meeting place, and they are the Rescue Aid Society, which was founded by Euripides Mouse. Don't know why that's so funny, but it is.
I don't know, because he's Greek.
Yep. So they pull the bottle in, and they sing their like song that they have. They have a theme song. and they realize that someone needs help, so they bring that bottle in, and Bernard, who is this little chubby mouse with a little cap.
Voiced by Bob Newhart, who Stephanie does not know.
I don't know who that is. He comes in, he's the janitor, and he brings a comb for his ladder, and he climbs up it, except that he notices that the ladder only has 13 steps.
Yes.
And this is when you find out he's superstitious.
Yeah.
Okay. He climbs in, and he gets the note out, and then they read the note.
They try to read the note.
Yeah. So we have Miss Bianca, who's like the cute little
And she shows up late, too.
Ava Gabor mouse. I want to say Zsa Zsa Gabor, but that's not.
Different. Very different.
Very different Gabor. But everyone is like, all the dudes are like fawning over her, and she has this like smelly perfume and this cute little fuzzy hat. She's from Hungary.
That's right.
Yeah, that was not what I thought her accent was.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know what I thought it was.
Yeah.
But she reads the note, which basically says that it's like, to Morningside Orphanage, I'm in terrible trouble. And basically this girl Penny needs help.
Yep.
And so they don't really know where to start, but they decide to go to Morningside Orphanage.
Yep. In New York.
Bianca decides that she has to have this case, because she's like, this poor girl. And then
the leader decides, well, you can't go alone, Isn't there any male who will accompany her?
Even though he just said it's not the old times and it's not a man's world anymore, but I guess she has to take a man with her.
Exactly.
She chooses the janitor.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
She knows what she needs.
Some things cleaned out.
She's got to slum it.
She got some pipes she needs cleaned out
Right?
with.
Something like that.
So they end up traveling to Morningside Orphanage, which I guess is in New York.
Yeah, I believe so.
Because they get off a bus and it's raining, and they end up at the zoo. I don't know why you're laughing.
It's just funny.
Okay.
They're going to the goddamn zoo.
Yeah, they're in the zoo. And I think he's going to go ask for directions at the zoo. So he goes into the lion cage, and he ends up getting spooked. It roars at him, and yeah. So there's that. So then they decide to go the long way, and they get to the orphanage, and they climb in, and they find Jimmy Jones' stuff, and then they find Penny's box, and she's got a box full of trash.
Mm-hmm. It's not trash, it's just her belongings.
It's trash.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's a cat. Yeah. He's got
Mr. Rufus.
He's got a mustache.
Yeah.
Glasses. And he's like, mice, you better get out of here. I'm going to lose my job, because they're not supposed to be mice in here. Basically.
Yeah.
So we have a flashback, because they ask Rufus about Penny. And, like, where did she go? And he's like, I don't think she would run away. And they're like, well, tell us about her. And he has a flashback. And he's a flashback to when Penny was crying because there's, like, an adoption event. But these people chose the redhead girl instead. Who chooses a fucking redhead?
Why wouldn't they?
Redheads are trouble.
That doesn't matter.
Haven't you ever been...
Some people like a challenge.
Haven't you ever been at the grocery store and there's a kid having a complete meltdown and you look and it's a redhead?
I don't think that means anything. I've seen plenty of children have meltdowns.
I'm just telling you, redheads are naughty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you say.
Yeah.
I think that's bullshit.
Your family would know.
Uh-huh.
Redheads are naughty.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. They're sneaky. So her and Rufus have a talk. And Rufus is like, someone will come along.
Yeah, but she had a very heartfelt moment where she asks, like, is she's defective or something like that, or is there something wrong with her?
She thinks she's ugly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so sad. And he just tells her to have faith, and faith is a bluebird or something. I don't know. It was very deep.
Basically, that everything will turn out all right.
Yeah.
If you have faith.
No. She has ginger snaps, so not only is she a redhead, she stole some ginger snaps from the kitchen, so she's a thief, and she's a runaway. How dare you? You don't even like him.
I don't.
Yeah. You don't like those songs?
I'm here for musical references, okay? It's like one of the things that I do.
I was trying to think of his name, I was like...
John Bon Jovi?
Bon Jovi? John Bovey? Rufus is like, well, there was this one woman, but I don't think she would go with those types of trashy people. And I was like, trashy people?
That's right.
And he says that they own a pawn shop, so that's the next lead. Because he was like, oh yeah, this real trashy lady came in looking for a kid, but yeah. So,
Madame Medusa.
yeah.
Madame Medusa.
That leads us to Madame Medusa's pawn shop, endorsed by the NRA. Did you see part of the store? There's like a shelf that just said guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like an NRA sticker.
Yeah.
So Madame Medusa rolls in. Bianca and Bernard are there.
Yep.
And they're looking for clues. And Madame Medusa rolls in. And she answers the phone. And I love her right away.
Yeah. She absolutely... I thought from the get-go, I was like, oh, I'm getting serious Cruella de Vil vibes from her. Like, they did not deviate from what made that character. Like, she's got this fucking crazy makeup. She has, like, this really super loose, like, dress. But unlike Cruella, who is, like, rail skinny and looks unhealthy, she looks unhealthy in the other way. Like, an old, used-up woman. Like, saggy everything. Like,
yeah, that girl needs to wear a bra.
Yes, she does.
And she has like an open back dress.
Yeah.
And she's not wearing a bra.
Yeah.
I was like, girl, you...
And she's a redhead, which I know you love, apparently.
Put a bra on.
You fucking monster.
Put a bra on. I really shouldn't talk because I hate wearing bras.
See?
So she takes this phone call where someone is telling her that Penny has been throwing messages in a bottle over the ship, the riverboat. And she's like, Madame Medusa's like, you need to get this girl under control. I'm coming down there to the...
To where?
Bayou?
Devil's Bayou!
Yeah.
Devil's Bayou!
So she decides to pack a suitcase, and she throws everything in, and she throws it in her car, and her car pops a wheelie, and...
Well, see, you forgot that Bernard tried to jump into the suitcase so they could kind of hitch a ride to Devil's Bayou so they didn't have to find their own way down. He gets into the suitcase, Bianca isn't able to, so she kind of gets left behind.
Yeah.
Even after, not Cruella de Vil is speeding off in her car.
But she's speeding and popping wheelies in a car, which I didn't know cars could do.
They really can't. Unless she's just rocking something with a crazy engine, and I kind of doubt it.
But she's driving so crazy, like villainous women do.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's their thing. She's doing fucking donuts.
What
and
does that look for?
What? No, I was just saying in general. I was agreeing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thought this was a statement on my driving.
No.
Anyway, she's driving so crazy that her suitcase like falls out, and then
she doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
She just leaves it.
Kevin, she's wearing an open back dress with no bra. She gives no fucks.
And there was a fucking bra in that suitcase, so like she obviously really doesn't care.
Yeah. She really
and it's splayed out all over the street.
And she's got like Mimi makeup from like the Drew Carey show.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of what she reminded me of, but that's it.
Yeah. So Bernard is free now, and that's kind of where the scene ends, is with him and Bianca.
I wouldn't say he's free, more so they're kind of fucked over because they got left behind.
No, but he's out of the suitcase now,
yeah.
and she's back with her. So they decide that they need to go to Devil's Bayou. So they go to the airport, and they're taking the Albatross. God damn it. Do it.
No.
I know you want to.
No,
just do
I
it.
can't. I have nothing for this.
Okay.
The Albatross! Come on.
Oh my God.
Come on, babe.
So they take the Albatross Air. So the reason it's Albatross Air, in the book it was a pigeon.
Okay.
The people who were working on the movie saw like videos, or apparently it's just known that albatrossi?
Yeah, I don't know.
They're really clumsy with takeoff and landing.
I would say the albatross.
They're really clumsy with takeoff and landing.
Okay.
So they thought it'd be funny to have an albatross. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, the flight number is Flight 13. There's 13 steps on the stairway to climb onto the albatross. And it's not looking good for Bernard. Bernard?
Bernard, yeah.
She says Bernard.
Barney.
Bernard.
Madame Medusa is looking to become part of the top 1%.
Oh my God. Oh, babe. Anyway, we got Orville, the albatross, who needs permission to land. And so he does. And much like Bernie, Bernard is flying coach. Orville, the albatross, is like, give me the checklist so we know that we're ready. So Bernard's like, lower your goggles, prepare your wings and tail feathers, and then they take off.
Yep.
And he basically just jumps off his skyscraper. And
runs sloppily and just jumps.
at this point, there's like some hidden boobies in this movie, but we
didn't see them.
We didn't catch it.
Yeah.
Well, it goes so fast.
And this isn't like some, Little Mermaid bullshit or...
No, this is like legit.
This is legit, like, picture.
Someone, I don't know when...
was this like back in the day slut shaming?
What?
You know what I mean? Like how somebody will out someone else
No.
based on photos they have?
There's various stories as to what is going on, but basically there is a point in the movie where if you pause it or just watch very carefully...
I mean, this is like some mid-90s, like, pause, Blade Runner type of shit. Like, enhance.
But yeah, there's like some skyscrapers that they fly by and there is like windows in them.
Really?
One of the windows, someone like cut out part of the image and put in a picture of a nude woman. And some of the stories I've heard is that it's like a disgruntled employee put it in. Others is just like someone goofing around.
I would think if you're goofing around doing that, you're looking to get fired.
Yeah, I mean, they had to recall a whole lot of VHS tapes. So I don't know if ours was one of them. We didn't really stop to check.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it, unfortunately. I'm sorry. That's very out of character for me. But.
Yeah, but legit boobies. There's
no, I think this was a dick. No.
No, not cartoon boobies. Like, real woman boobies. Like 1970s boobies. So, anyway. Speaking of, your boy Bernard's getting his.
Why?
She, like, on the flight, she's, like, tired, so she, like, leans in on him.
That's right.
And then he puts his arm around her.
Like, it's the going to the movies trick.
Yeah. I used to do that to you all the time.
Uh-huh.
No, like, I'd be like, I'm so tired. And then I'd, like, lean on you before we were even dating. And I had a boyfriend. Yeah,
it's not a good thing. That's not a good look for you.
Yeah, it's really slutty of me. There's some music going on.
Yeah.
It's 70s. It's very 70s.
Okay.
And it's just like a woman singing, and it's real cheesy. Yeah. Anyway, we get to the Devil's Bayou.
Your transitions are fucking terrible. So anyway,
you can take over.
To the Devil's Bayou.
You can take over. And, well, because it just cuts.
Yeah.
It just like... They lean in, they're on this flight, and then the next thing you know, they're at the Devil's Bayou.
Yeah, they're in the fucking Devil's Bayou. Your boy, we got Runaway Penny going on, and she's rolling out into the swamp. Like, we see that there's not a houseboat, like a gambling boat.
A riverboat.
A riverboat. There you go. Duh.
Come on, Kevin.
Yeah, exactly. A riverboat. But it's really dilapidated. It's broken down. It's kind of part of the scenery now.
Yeah.
And we see that Penny's trying to run away. She's got a little teddy bear and running through the swamp. The swamp. And
which I said to you, that's very brave of her to just go in those swamp waters.
Well, like I said, that should show you how fucking terrible Madame Medusa is.
True.
That she would want to brave the swamp and chill with leeches and shit like that, like Stand By Me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so she's being chased down by a couple of the alligators.
Who are Madame Medusa's pets.
Nero and Brutus. And they own super hard, as alligators in Disney movies do.
She has her, like, henchman? Sidekick? Mr.
I would
Snoops?
say cohort. Yeah.
Snoops?
Snoops, yes.
Snoots or Snoop?
I think it's Snoops.
Okay. Snoops?
No.
Okay.
He's not proving anything.
Well, she sends the alligators after him. She's yelling at Snoops. And she's like, I'm gonna go and get her myself.
Yep.
And she jumps on this, like... What is it?
I don't even know how to describe it.
Snowmobile?
It kind of seems like a personal watercraft is what you would call it.
Sea-doo or a ski-doo?
Sea-doo.
A wave runner?
That's a personal watercraft. That's what you call that.
Wave runner.
So it's kind of like that, but not really. Going back to manga, because, that's what we're going to do, or anime. If you guys have ever seen Akira.
Nope.
Shut the fuck up. See Akira. So if you have, in the underground sewer scene where, I think Kaneda is trying, or maybe it's Tetsuo. I'm pretty sure it's Kaneda. And he's trying to look for him. They're on these type, like, hover bikes. Underground. In the waterways. It's exactly like that. Imagine that in your mind's eye. And that's what this is, but more old-fashioned.
Kevin, stop trying to make Akira a thing.
It's a thing! It is the thing!
I don't like Akira.
I don't fucking care.
Because my high school boyfriend made me watch Akira.
Well, what you need to do, you need to take away these negative associations and see the art for what it is. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the movie is not as good as the manga. I'm gonna be that guy.
Wow.
But
wow, you've hit an all new low. Anyway, Madame Medusa's in her ski-doo.
Shut the fuck up.
And she tells Mr. Snoops to kind of light up the sky so she can see better. So he has fireworks that he just sets off.
Which makes no fucking sense to me, because it's like, okay, the story...
This is a party boat.
Well, not only that, but you're out in the fucking swamp all by yourself. The story here is that Madame Medusa and Snoops are looking for a huge fucking diamond. And apparently they're the only ones that know about this.
Yeah.
If that were the case, why the fuck would you set off fireworks out in the middle of the swamp to alert people to the presence of other people here?
Kevin, these are hillbillies.
I don't care.
Think about, like, where we live.
Yeah.
With all the Rudds, and there's, like, trailer parks, and we're out in the country, and the boonies. People just set off guns and fireworks for no goddamn reason, and we're used to it.
I feel like it's different in this situation. You're out in the fucking middle of the swamp, literally in the middle of nowhere, and there's fireworks going off.
Speaking of fireworks, one of them singes the albatross, Orville.
The albatross!
Jesus Christ. Orville. We'll link all these songs in the show notes. We'll have a soundtrack this time.
Yeah. We hear that's the hot new thing. We're going to capitalize on this trend that surely hasn't been mined.
Oh my god. Speaking of mines, the diamond. Anyway.
Keep going.
My ADHD is strong
tonight.
I know,
you're fucking up.
Yeah. It was gluten. No, so fireworks, Orville. Okay, so the fireworks singe Orville's tail feathers, which causes him to go into a downward spiral.
A tailspin, you might say?
Yes.
There you go.
And,
because I was just going to make a Nine Inch Nails reference, but I didn't.
Bianca and Bernard, this is why they always say when you're sitting down on the airplane, even if you're not, like, moving around, have your seatbelt buckled.
Always.
Because you never know when you're going to hit some turbulence.
Yeah, and you will get fucked up.
And they fell out of the tin can on the back of Orville's back. Strapped to his back because they weren't seatbelted in and they just flew off.
Yep. And now they're fucking dead.
Yeah, and then the
movie's over.
Yeah, they thought
Penny.
they thought they were going to rescue her. And this is what happened. Lesson learned.
Welcome to the room, little jackass.
No, Bianca had an umbrella, and that kind of helps them float safely down. Yeah. And that's when we meet these hillbilly rodents.
Yeah.
Mice.
Yeah.
I was like, is it a gopher? Is it a muskrat? I'm not quite sure what they are.
No, I think that he's a mouse. He might be a rat.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But there are others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's like a chubby one, and she's like the wife, and there's like a skinny one who's drinking moonshine,
yes.
I'm guessing.
White lightning.
Yeah. He like drinks it, and then he like spits out fire.
Spits fire, and he gets the crazy eyes. like he's Mr. Toad.
Or, what's the snake? Ka?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he gives Bernard a swig of that, because that'll help him. But basically, you know, they're going to help out Bernard and Bianca. So at this time, the alligators catch Penny, and they bring her back. Bernard and Bianca are trying to keep up with the alligators because they see them pass by. And so the hillbilly mice, because I don't know what else to call them.
I know.
The bayou swamp mice?
Yeah, the native people.
Yeah, the native people. They call out for their buddy Evinrude.
Evinrude. Evinrude, yes.
Evinrude.
Do you know? No. R-U-D-E. Evinrude.
Rude boy.
That's right. Yes. It's the name of a boat motor. So it's clever. He's a dragonfly.
He's a dragonfly, and he starts up like a boat motor. It's very cute. And he pilots this leaf that they're riding in.
Yeah.
And they go catch up with the alligators. I mean, is there much more to say about that? They just kind of follow the alligators.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. So the alligators bring Penny back to Mr. Snoops. I put snoots.
I don't understand why some of the stuff is so hard to understand.
I don't know. I have hearing problems,
Okay.
I guess. No, so he's basically threatening Penny, and Penny's like, I'm not afraid of these alligators. Apparently you are. Because he's like, I'm going to send them after you and make them eat you. And she's like, go ahead. Anyway, he sends up some fireworks that spell out "Got Girl."
That's what I was saying. You just get... Okay, even accepting like, oh, well, you know, fucking weird shit happens
Nobody
all the time.
lives out there.
But if you look up in the sky and you see "Got Girl," it's like, you might be thinking, okay, well, either, number one, it's a kidnapping, or also, I need to get fucking laid. They got girls. Like, they got a new club open out here?
I just want to know what kind of fancy fireworks these are.
That's what I'm saying.
Words.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, when I was growing up and we had the 4th of July, they had fireworks that could make the shape of hearts and crosses and Jesus' face.
Absolutely.
But I've never seen words.
I just see it in toast.
Anyway, they kind of at this point explain that the reason they have Penny is because she's small enough to get into the black hole to go get the devil's eye.
So she's all about astrophysics and astronomy.
What this is, we don't know yet. And at this time, I'm also thinking, what is Medusa and Snoop's relationship?
Dynamic?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at her,
Do you think
I would
she
think
keeps
your
him
girl...
around with her feminine
absolutely.
sexuality?
Yeah, obviously. And he's obviously looking good enough that he's plowing.
I'm trying to think of who he reminds me of.
Yeah, I couldn't think of it either throughout the whole movie because he's got this hair that looks like Larry from the Three Stooges with a mustache, and he's
and glasses.
He's super fat. Like,
he's based on like a.
He looks kind of like Milton from Office Space,
yes,
but with less hair. So sorry, Stephen Root.
He's based on, I think, a film critic or something. Okay, yeah. Which
That's
the
savage.
guy at first was like they had me do all these poses without me knowing, or like telling me why, and then he found out. But then he was like, actually, it's kind of a riot to be in a Disney movie, so it's kind of cool.
I would love it.
Yeah. So they send Penny up to her room. Mm-hmm. So Penny's in her room. Medusa and Snoops go wherever they go. I don't know. They leave the room.
Yeah.
And we have Bianca and we have Bernard. And the alligators walk by, and suddenly they notice Bianca's perfume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they get a scent.
Yeah. That's what Bernard says anyway. He's been blaming her this whole movie. He's like,
he's proven right.
She packed too much, so now we missed our flight, and then now her perfume. Yeah.
I think he's onto something.
So the alligators start chasing them. And the mice run up into an organ. And so one of the alligators is sitting on the top of the organ where the pipes are, and the other alligator is playing the organ.
Yeah.
Trying to push the mice out with the wind. It's
fucking awesome. It reminds me of like Keyboard Cat, the way he's just mashing on the keys with his claws.
So there's this whole thing where they're trying to like catch them coming out of the organ pipes.
Yeah. It's pretty hilarious.
And Medusa's like, what the fuck's going on? Pipe down. And then she realizes there is a mice, and she's screaming. A mouse. And then
there's a mouse!
There is mice. There are mice. So she gets her shotgun and starts shooting at them.
It's not a shotgun, though. No.
It's not?
No, it looks like, I can't even think of...
It looks like it was birdshot.
No. I don't know how to describe it. It looked like a machine gun from, like, World War II era, almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know my guns.
I know, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Anyway, she's shooting at them, and don't they notice these mice have clothes on?
I don't think so.
No?
I think she's probably just so horrified by the fact that there are mice at all.
Yeah.
She's probably not seeing anything else. And also, she's just shooting at whatever the fuck.
I mean, when you smushed that one mice, I think you would have known if it was wearing a shirt and a hat.
Yeah.
And you would have been like, what the fuck's going on here?
You creepy piece of shit, smash!
I'm in a Disney movie. Yeah. So, Bianca and Bernard go back out from the riverboat.
Yeah.
And then we have a scene where Medusa is talking to Penny, And she's telling her how she needs her help and just being so sweet to Penny, except for the part where she tells her she's a homely little girl and who would ever want to adopt her.
Yeah, because she's saying, like, oh, you actually, after I do this for you, you're going to take me back to the orphanage, right? Oh, darling, why would you want to go back there? Nobody will ever want to adopt a homely little girl like you. I was like, God damn. That's biting commentary.
That is some villainy right there. Holy shit. And we kind of pan to the riverboat scenery. We see Bambi and his mom outside. Yep. And then Penny's going to bed, and she has her little bear, Teddy. And she tells him to say his prayers before they go to bed. And they pray that someone will come help them.
And it totally works, you guys.
Jesus.
Yeah. Works in mysterious ways.
So Bernard and Bianca show up. They all scheme these, like, crazy escape plans.
Yeah.
Like, we'll lock the alligators in the elevator and we'll shoot off fireworks.
But he tells Penny, like, we have to escape tonight because we think they're going to try and use you tomorrow.
Yeah. But they don't get out that night.
No.
Why was that?
Because I think they moved up the plans. So Medusa and Snoops take Penny out to the black hole already. Okay. So they want to get it done sooner than later.
That's right. Back at the shed... Well, the shed, where the bayou animals all hang out. Yeah. The
natives, babe.
The natives. They have gathered up some other animals. They have like a turtle and an owl and a rabbit and whatnot. So they're gathering, and we also have, what is his name? The dragonfly?
Evinrude.
Evinrude.
Yep.
Evinrude?
No.
I am Groot.
No. You're a rude boy. You're not a root boy.
Evinrude, he's trying to fly back to those other animals, and he's being chased by some bats, which is the most Don Bluth-y thing of this film.
Yeah.
Those bats looked like a Don Bluth movie.
They're fucking great.
Yeah. So
if you can't tell, I love me some fucking Don Bluth.
I don't know why.
Why
he
not?
He has like 2 good movies.
Okay.
Compared to Disney?
I don't even care. They got a shitload of people.
Okay. Anyway.
And now that's bullshit too. 2 good movies. Get the fuck out of here. You got The Land Before Time. You got the fucking American Tail series. You got the goddamn Secret of Nim. Fucking All Dogs Go to Heaven. Yeah, there's...
3 good movies.
Don't give me that bullshit. She doesn't like the Secret of Nim, you
I don't
guys.
like the Secret of Nim.
That's some fucking bullshit.
I went into it thinking, like, great, I'm going to sit down and watch a whole movie. And it's only like 30 minutes long.
It is not. It's longer than that.
No, it is not.
It's like Dumbo length.
Ugh. Dumbo. Next morning.
Yeah, so get, like...
We're at the black hole. That's where I want to put you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're going to send Penny down there. And she has the 2 mice with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to send Penny down there. But she's like, Teddy doesn't like it down there because it's scary and he gets wet. Madame Medusa's like, fuck Teddy. I'm going to hold on to him. And then she pushes her into the bucket and is like,
if you want to see him
there.
again, get your fucking ass down there and get me my fucking diamond, bitch.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So they lower her down. And they're looking around. And what is this place?
It's just like a underground cavern.
Yeah, because there's like water that shoots up from the hole. Like, I guess when tide comes in, maybe?
It was like that joint in Thailand. But she's not a bunch of school kids.
It's too soon.
They didn't die, though, right?
Some divers
There's some divers
died.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Babe. It's too soon. Anyway.
Shut up.
You really just brought the mood down.
Whatever.
No, so Penny and the mice are down in the hole. And they're looking around, and she's like, I think some pirates used to be down here. And they're like, how do you know? And she's like, because of that guy over there. And they pan to, like, a pirate skeleton.
With a sword in his chest.
So they're looking for this diamond, and they don't see it. And eventually, Penny holds her lantern the right way that it shines on the skeleton's skull.
No, it's a different skull.
Oh, it's a different one.
Yeah, that's on the other side of a hole in the cavern where the water spouts up out of.
Right. So that giant diamond is inside that skull.
And it's not coming out.
No, because it's bigger than like...
It won't fit through the eye socket.
Yeah.
So a motherfucker needs to be punched in the face.
How did they get it in there in the first place?
By opening the mouth. I'm just saying. Or maybe just setting the skull on top of it.
That's weird.
But little ass mice
There's
are
a
going to
lot
do
of
the job.
questions I have about
I'm just
this.
saying. The wrong question.
So the water's rising, and Penny is telling Madame Medusa, like I found it,
I can't get
but
it.
I can't get it. And Madame Medusa's like, oh, you better get it because I'm leaving you down there.
Yeah.
And
Sorry about you drowning.
so everything gets kind of frantic with the water splashing everywhere.
She rushes over there and pries the skull's mouth open with a sword so that the mice can get the diamond out. They get the diamond out. She has it. A bunch of water sprays up, so they're getting sloshed all over the place.
They get sucked into the black hole,
Yeah.
and then it shoots them back out, and she's like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a Disney movie. And so we have a guy impaled with a sword.
Yep.
We have a giant diamond stuck inside someone's skull, in which we have to use a sword as a lever to bust open the skull.
This is science, baby.
I was like, holy shit, this is dark. Like, this is Don Bluth doing it.
You're damn right it is.
Yeah. But yeah, so eventually she comes up, she has the diamond, and Madame Medusa does not care about Penny whatsoever. She won't give her Teddy back. What a bitch. She told her she could have Teddy back.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh.
She almost even lets her fall back down in there.
Yeah, she doesn't give a fuck, man. I got my diamond, bitch.
But
I
this-
got mine.
This starts to cause a wedge between Medusa and Snoops, because he's like, I want half that diamond.
Yeah.
She's like, you can't cut this in half. It's...
Beautiful. It's
Yeah.
all mine.
And so basically she hoards this diamond from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got this shiny fever.
Yep. And so we go back to the bayou, which is where the creatures are at. Mm-hmm. The natives.
The natives. There you go. Nice job. I knew you'd get it.
And we see that whole gang head into the riverboat. And we have Medusa, who has Snoops and Penny at gunpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, you motherfuckers stay away from me and my jewels.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna blow your face off.
Yeah. Crazy. And at this point, this is when the animals come in and rescue everyone.
Yeah, but also Medusa's gonna take Teddy with her.
Oh, yeah.
Because the diamond is inside of Teddy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
He's inside of
right?
this
It was
whole
inside of
time.
all of us sometimes. Yeah. This whole time.
So, yeah, the animals come in. Bianca and Bernard trip Madame Medusa, and she falls, and that's how they get Teddy from her. And they, lure the alligators into the...
With her perfume.
With her perfume.
So Bernard was right, and you're being a shithead.
Whatever. Always blaming the woman.
Uh-huh.
They lure the alligators into the elevator cage, and so they trap them in there.
Yep.
I don't know what's happening with Snoop at this point, but they get away from him.
I think he was just trying to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, he's
because,
just an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Penny and all the creatures jump onto the Ski-Doo, the water snowmobile, if you will. And they try and get the hell out of there, but it won't start. So they use the swamp rats.
White lightning. That
His
moonshine.
moonshine to
Because
fire
you
it
really can run a fucking car on this shit.
I've never had moonshine.
You don't want to.
No?
I've heard it's absolutely awful. It's like pure alcohol. Like, it'll strip paint off walls type of shit.
Gross.
Yeah.
How does it not burn your insides?
That's a good question. Ask the people that make it.
Interesting. We need to take a trip to the south to the
No,
bayou.
I don't think so.
Anyway, so she gets on it. Gets on the Ski-Doo. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. Sea-Doo?
Just say the fucking,
Watercraft.
hover bike.
Watercraft.
Okay.
Duck boat?
You can say watercraft. That
Watercraft. Okay. So they get on the watercraft, they get it going, and she pulls away, except that there's a rope that it had been docked with.
Mm-hmm.
And Madame Medusa grabs the rope, and they're leading her through the water. And the boat explodes from all the fireworks, and the alligators go flying, and they land by Medusa's feet, and now they're her water ski.
And she's whipping them with the rope for whatever reason. Like, make me go faster! Get me to these shitheads! I need my diamond!
Penny takes a sharp turn. It causes the rope to snap.
Yep.
And then Madame Medusa
Gets stuck on the pipe
Yeah.
of the riverboat, and the alligators are treating her like Captain Hook now.
Yeah, they just swim away, and they're like, haha, bitch.
They were fucking snapping at her.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. Yeah, because she's a piece of shit.
Yeah. And so here's another bad transition, because the movie just cuts
Yeah.
to a news segment. The mice are back at the UN Center with all the other mice from around the world. They're watching the news, in which they show Penny has discovered the world's largest diamond from the Devil's Eye, And she's been adopted.
That's right.
But they never say if she gets to keep the diamond. Like, is she
No,
rich?
it was donated to the Smithsonian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I missed that part.
You need to listen.
Yeah, my hearing's not good today.
It's not even that. It's your comprehension.
Yeah, my ADHD is really strong today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was donated to the Smithsonian. She gets adopted because now she's notable. So starfuckers want to get a piece of that.
Yeah. The family wants a cut.
Yeah.
And so they're all like, oh, this is so sweet. Especially because she starts talking about, I had help from 2 mice friends.
Yeah.
Can I say hi
Can
to
we give
them?
her back? I think she's fucking crazy.
But yeah, so that's pretty much how it ends, where Bianca and Bernard, or Bianca mostly, is like, let's go on our next mission.
Exactly.
And it was Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, because I thought right there that they were opening it up for a sequel.
Yeah.
And I don't, maybe that's not what it was. Maybe it was just showing how adventurous she was.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure how soon after Down Under was made.
1990.
Oh, okay. So 13 years. So that, yeah, they weren't planning on making a sequel. It just happened that way.
This was the first Disney movie to
Get a sequel.
animated movie, I should say, to have a sequel.
It's pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really crazy. That was The Rescuers.
Yeah. So here's the reception. The Rescuers was successful upon its original theatrical release, earning worldwide gross rentals of $48 million fucking dollars at the box office.
Yep.
During its initial release in France, it outgrossed Star Wars, receiving admissions of $7.2 million.
Do I think this is better than Star Wars?
Star Wars, you guys. France, what are we doing? What are we doing?
It also became the highest grossing film in West Germany at the time, West Germany, with admissions of 9.7 million.
And we say West Germany because that wall was still up.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't even catch that.
See?
I have a piece of that wall
Did you really?
somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I had a pen pal that sent me a
Yeah.
piece of the wall.
By the end of its theatrical run, the distributor rentals amounted to $19 million in the United States and Canada, while its international rentals totaled $41 million, which is $60 million for those of you counting at home.
So altogether, with like re-releases that they had
Yep.
later on for theatrical runs, it made $169 million box office.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Off of $7.5 million.
Yep. And like I said earlier, this is the first animated feature film to have a sequel. In 1990, we had The Rescuers, Down Under.
Mate.
What?
No.
What did I say?
No, I was saying mate.
Oh.
I know I should have said it with an accent.
I thought you said made. And
No,
I was
no,
like,
no.
what do you mean it was made? I was like, yeah, it was made. Whatever.
Oh my god.
According to critics, Kevin.
Charles Champlin of the Los Angeles Times praised the film as the best feature-length animated Disney film in a decade or more, the funniest, the most inventive, the least self-conscious, the most coherent, and moving from start to finish, and probably the most important of all, it is the most touching in that unique way fantasy has of carrying vibrations of real life and real feelings. Holy fuck, Mr. Run-On Sentence.
Wow.
Like,
I know.
I
Breathe.
use the shit out of some commas and like parentheses, but that is ridiculous. Yeah.
Vincent Canby of the New York
I'm
Times.
lightheaded.
Vincent Canby of the New York Times wrote that the film, quote, doesn't belong in the same category as the great Disney cartoon features Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Bambi Fantasia, but it's a
LOL, Fantasia.
But it's a
Fuck up.
reminder of a kind of slickly cheerful animated entertainment that has become all but extinct.
Your boy, Gene Siskel,
Cisco.
reviewing the film for the Chicago Tribune, gave the film 2.5 stars out of 4, writing, to see any Disney animated film these days is to compare it with the Disney classics released 30 or 40 years ago. Judged against Pinocchio, for example, The Rescuers is lightweight, indeed. Its themes are forgettable. It's mostly an adventure story.
And then in his book, The Disney Films, by my buddy Leonard Maltin, not my buddy, I just like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He refers to The Rescuers as, quote, a breath of fresh air for everyone who had been concerned about the future of animation at Walt Disney. He praises it, saying its humor and imagination and that it is expertly woven into a solid story structure with a delightful cast of characters. Finally, he declares the film, quote, the most satisfying animated feature to come from the studio since 101 Dalmatians. He also mentions briefly the ease at which the film surpassed other animated films of its time, which I'm not sure what those would be because Don Bluth is working with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably
Exactly.
UAE Productions, I guess, because they made like Gay Paris and whatnot.
Yeah. Jack Shaheen, in his study of Hollywood portrayals and stereotypes of Arabs, noted the inclusion of delegates from Arab countries in the Rescue Aid Society.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah.
I was like, we weren't afraid of Middle Eastern as Americans. That's nice. You're first this week, babe.
Oh, am I?
You are.
All right. I would say that I actually like this a lot. Even though the beginning scene wasn't as impressive cinematically as I was going to expect when I saw Down Unders. I think that kind of soured me a little bit from the get-go. But I definitely got a lot of vibes from this that were intended. Like I thought Madame Medusa reminded me a lot of Cruella de Vil. I liked Snoops in like a bumbling, I don't know, just useless shithead kind of way. The alligators I thought were hilarious. I liked the chemistry between Bianca and Bernard a lot. Unlike you, I like Bob Newhart in my old age.
I don't know who he is. I can't like him if I don't know who he is.
He's a comedian, and he used to have his own television show, like Newhart and the Bob Newhart Show, like two separate shows.
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's very old. I think he was probably in his late 40s.
We'll check it out later.
When this was made. But he sounded a lot younger. I was really surprised because if you're listening, I wouldn't have immediately known that it was Bob Newhart. But yeah, I liked them a lot. I liked him and Ava Gabor. I thought they had very good chemistry, and just the story was really fast moving. I felt like the Penny stuff initially kind of seemed like low hanging fruit with like the tugging at the heartstrings kind of stuff.
She's an orphan.
With the orphan and and you know not feeling important, things like that. But overall, I thought it wove together really well. This is one of the films I didn't even come close to falling asleep, which I honestly think is probably a big feather in its cap.
Yeah.
Because it moves fast enough, it keeps your interest. It's kind of like Gene Siskel said, it's kind of lightweight when compared to like the heavy hitters, but for what it was, I thought it was very, very good. And it's got a pretty good wrap up ending, you know. And like I said, I like Madame Medusa a lot. I thought she was terrible in like some of the worst kind of ways.
She's a very underrepresented Disney villain.
I think so too. Yeah. So overall, I liked it a lot.
Awesome. So, did you watch this as a kid? Have you seen this before?
I'd never seen it before.
Really?
No, I don't think so.
I feel like
I think I had seen Down Under.
Yeah.
But I think I remember parts of this, but not the entirety.
I feel like this is one where I would have expected you to have seen this one. It just seems kind of like the tone of it is your thing. I don't know.
I don't watch Disney movies, and regardless of tone.
Don Bluth was part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird to me. Like, you didn't, even as a kid?
I don't know. I just didn't watch a ton of Disney stuff. I didn't go out of my way, but like stuff like American Tail.
Your dad was too busy letting you guys watch like rated R movies. Oh, hey son, come here.
I mean, eventually, yeah.
Watch these rated R films. Let's watch Law and Order SVU all day. Yeah, I had seen this as a kid, so going back into it again, I thought I remembered not hating it as a kid, but thinking it was like really slow,
less than
boring. Yeah. Not as exciting visually as Down Under, because Down Under I have really strong memories of.
Yeah.
Which is why when we put the wrong VHS in, I was like,
what the fuck is this?
I was like, wait a second, these bugs, doesn't it zoom in all of a sudden? I'm pretty sure this is the second movie. And it was. Yeah. Yeah, the opening, I kind of like how it starts you off at the bayou and she's like running away.
Well, it's not that I didn't like the bayou, it's the visuals. The paintings. It looked really cheap.
Yeah.
Like it was just paintings and you're Ken Burnsing the shit with like some animation over the top.
It looks like a Don Bluth film.
Yes.
It reminds me.
His influence is absolutely there.
Yes. Because it reminded me a lot of All Dogs Go to Heaven. And I could, just the tone of it. He's much darker.
Yeah.
Of a, like, I guess, directorially, I would say.
Even though he didn't direct this, it was your boy Wolfgang.
No, but he did a lot with, like, the art direction.
Yes.
So, but no, I thought Madame Medusa was great. She is a great villain. She's easy to root for or root against.
Yeah, I was gonna say, holy shit, are you a psychopath?
I fucking hate kids so
I fucking love diamonds and I hate kids.
Child exploitation and labor. No, she is fun to root against. I think the organ scene was so funny with the alligators playing the organ.
Hilarious.
Because they come off as like like dogs, but they're just like really happy alligators. I
Yeah.
don't know. They were funny and adorable. I think Bianca is very charming.
Mm-hmm.
And
They both are.
Yeah. I remember as a kid having a crush on Bernard in that
That's right.
weird kid way that
Yeah.
you're like, I like him. Yeah. So I remember really liking him. So the chemistry, like you said, between them is really great. Penny is adorable as a kid.
Yep.
It's so sad when she thinks she's like ugly and nobody
Yeah.
wants her, and she has like missing teeth in the front and pigtails.
Yeah.
I love Rufus. That's one thing that did stick out to me as a kid is like, I remember Rufus.
Yeah.
The xerography looks better from what I read. They had developed it enough to this point that instead of being these like real scratchy dark black lines, now it's more of a softer gray. So that's helping with the look of things. And I like the change of scenery. So instead of being somewhere in Europe
Yeah.
or some weird fantasy
Or
land,
medieval.
yeah, like it's cool to see like the Southern Bayou. Like we haven't been there yet. It's cool to see contemporary New York City. So those
Or the
are
United
really
Nations.
Yeah. And so I just thought all of that was really fresh. The music was kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
Like the song, it was very like John Denver, like easy listening type. Yeah. So it was really cheesy. I could give or take the music.
Yeah.
But overall, I kind of wondered, like, is this an underrated classic?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. You don't ever hear about it when people
No.
talk about
No,
old
it-
Disney movies.
It's good.
Yeah.
Like,
Before like the new golden age or whatever you want to call
yeah.
it. Yeah.
I mean, it's no Pinocchio, but
No.
it definitely...
It's got its niche. It's like I said, it's
Yeah, in the list of movies we've watched, like the past 10, I was like, man, this was fun. It was funny, and I think it really worked.
so since I reviewed first, Stephanie is going to give her ranking.
Yeah, so yeah, I pulled these up earlier and was looking at them because I really wasn't sure.
I already know, and this is pretty easy for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it needs to be in my top 10 for sure. I'm gonna put it pretty high, actually. I think I'm gonna put it... Do I want to put it behind Peter Pan or before Peter Pan?
Oh.
No, I'm putting it high. I really did like
No,
it.
I know.
I liked it a lot. I think it's really, like I said, it's underrated. I'm trying to think of what it is I like about Peter Pan. Captain Hook was probably the thing I liked the most about Peter Pan.
Yes.
But I think Madame Medusa is as strong of a villain, so I think I'm going to put it before Peter Pan, making it 7th. So after Bambi.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's going to make mine a little weird because I'm going even higher.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I think in my head, when I was comparing Madame Medusa and Cruella de Vil, I kind of thought that was where it was going to land. And a lot of this has to do with us saying initially that this is like our favorites and the ones that we like the most, not necessarily the ones that are of historical importance. And with the problems that we noticed with Cinderella, with the lack of characterization and things like that, I think that makes this a little bit stronger story-wise. And the fact that this isn't a princess story, which resonates more with me, you know, even if it is a low-hanging fruit, you know, you have the orphan thing and all of that.
At least she's an orphan to start with, and
Exactly.
not like her parents died. It's just she just lived in an orphanage.
Yeah, they don't even explain that. But yeah, and so it was basically for me between this and 101 Dalmatians. So, you know, do I think that 100 Dalmatians is a great movie? Yes, it is. Do I like the art in that? Yes, I do. Is the music great in that? Yes, it is. But I don't like a lot of those fucking puppies. And also, even just the random cast of animal characters in that.
Yeah.
While they're funny, it's like, yeah. You know, I think The Rescuers is honestly better than 101 Dalmatians. And this isn't hot take bullshit. Like, I promise you guys, I'm not trying to fucking be, you know, like edgy or anything like that. I honestly think this is probably better than 101 Dalmatians. And I would put this number 5 just ahead of 101 Dalmatians and just behind Lady and the Tramp. Because I think that there is a very clear distinction between, you know, the cream of the crop, you know, and stuff like this. But this is very, very good for what it was.
I do think the pace of this is much better than
Yes.
101 Dalmatians.
Yes.
Because there was times watching this movie where I was like, this is moving on at a really good pace, and I don't feel like it's too slow or too fast.
Yeah.
Dalmatians, there are parts where I'm like, this is going very fast.
Yeah, and even the ending of 101 Dalmatians just felt very abrupt.
Yeah.
You don't really get a good resolution out of it with Cruella de Vil, even though, she kind of crashes her car.
I do think it's stronger than 101 Dalmatians, but then I would have to put it ahead of Cinderella and Bambi.
Yeah, and I wouldn't ask you to do that.
And
but
those are, for me, just childhood favorites.
Well, exactly, and that's why our list differs.
Yeah.
So I'm putting this at number 5, just behind Lady and the Tramp.
I feel like, can I have like a 5-way tie between
No, you can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this was a really solid movie, and again, underrated.
Yes.
People should definitely watch it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Music, soundtrack, but story-wise,
but everything else very, very strong.
great characters.
Yep, good chemistry.
Those alligators are even better than the crocodile from Peter Pan.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Alright.
Next up, y'all, are you ready to get fucking high with Pete's Dragon?
Oh, that literally hurt my ears. Holy shit, babe.
It's Pete's Dragon, and also our short. It's got a debatable title because I don't think this is true, but it says "Teachers Are People."
Shut up. If you guys could head over to iTunes and give us some feedback,
You're so
positive
thirsty.
or negative. Well, it's kind of slowed down lately, and I feel like people could just leave us some feedback.
No, let the people do what they want.
We'll leave some show notes.
Yeah,
And give you a soundtrack to this episode with all the song references.
they are many.
Yeah. So at DTB Disney on Twitter, on Instagram, even though I never update Instagram. Check us out on Facebook. Subscribe, rate, review. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
Tell your family. Tell your acquaintances.
Tell them all that Disney is our business.
And
Business is good, you fucking bastards.
Oh my god. You're so weird.